and do it fast. It's time for the Evercast. Are you ready to greet Ed, Rich, Crow, and Pete as they talk Evercade? Good times will never fade. Put away the switchblade, sheath the sword of Vienna. Stop the blaster master, there's no enemy below as we dip into euphoria. Turn on, tune in, and do it fast. It's time for the Evercast.
Hey! Welcome everybody to the Evercade podcast.
It is that time, isn't it?
Yep. How's everybody doing this morning?
Well, yet to be determined.
Yeah, same here. I don't know how I'm feeling about today yet, but we'll figure it out sooner or later.
It's funny, every Saturday morning I get up, I was like, oh, I got plenty of time before I'm going to do this. And then before I notice, oh, crap, this thing's starting in 5 minutes.
Yeah, right?
Right?
It's pretty crazy. But, it is what it is. I can't stop yelling. Oh, my gosh. I've been up for a while, and my camera's all messed up, so I'm like completely zoomed in. Yes. I'm just going to sit back and relax. So how are you all doing?
Good. I think I'm used to daylight savings, I think
it's still residual to daylight savings. It's like it just messes with you.
Yeah, it's funny, as I still haven't changed the one clock that still needs to be changed in the bedroom. So
I don't think you should change it now.
well, right? Every morning I wake up and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I got to change that clock. Done it every day this week.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I don't even try anymore. Like I used to be able to figure out the microwave before, but now that was like 10 years ago. Now everything's so complicated. You don't even have a time button on our microwave. You got to hit a combination of obscure buttons to change the time.
I guess it depends on the microwave. My microwave has a time button and it's got a dial, so you just spin it to the
I want my microwave to work on the Wi-Fi. My stove works on Wi-Fi because it's a Samsung, and my new TV is a Samsung. So if I preheat the oven, it tells me on my TV while I'm watching it that your preheat oven's ready to go, and I'm like, oh, fantastic!
You know what? My wife actually needs that, because there's been plenty of times where she's cooked something and I walk in the kitchen later and the oven's still on.
Oh yeah,
it'd be handy.
Skyrim on your microwave? Nope. Can't play Skyrim on our coffee machine at work though. And Doom.
All right, you know what might wake us up? Let's see, who do we have in the chat? We got Spins, we got some members, we got Genejoke, we got Low GRM, Joe Whitlash. So early, my cock hurts. We got Dope. Hey, Ballistic Coffee Boy with the coffee. Hey, Phantom. Immorally. And Gene says, you can play Skyrim on your microwave. Probably. Yeah, no surprise. There's no news this week, of course. Not until the end of the month.
There isn't any news?
No.
Huh.
No news is good news?
Maybe.
I think by now everybody got their latest collections, right?
Yeah, I got Broken Sword here. I haven't opened up Indie Heroes 4 though. I've got to do that hopefully this week.
This is me. I opened it and I was like, oh, okay, there it is, and I threw the box over here and I looked at it.
Indie Heroes 4 I played.
Actually.
Oh god, I've heard a lot of bad things about this game, but I'm trying to go into it with an open mind.
Bad things from who? Like
mainly,
which game? Broken Sword.
Broken Sword. Mainly, the animations. I think it runs at 50 hertz, or like the animations are slow and the mouse isn't as good. And the loading times are horrendous. That's what I've heard people say.
But it's a PlayStation game, so it mimics everything the PlayStation game had. Whether it's a 50 hertz, that means it's probably a PAL version?
Yeah, it's probably the PAL version.
But yeah, I've had no problem with it. It's...
Look, I played Star X yesterday, so 50 frames per second is awesome compared to that game.
Oh, the animations run too fast. I think that's No, it's kind of the thing that, like, if you're paying $30 for this, it better run perfect compared to you can buy it digitally on everything else.
Well, if it runs fast, it's saving you some time, right?
Ha!
It's
Oh, it is
the
that.
PSP version. Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
What did they do to it?
I've been playing it. It feels like a PlayStation game. Like that, I even commented on my impressions. I said it feels like they didn't do anything to speed it up or do anything outside of the ordinary. It seems like a PlayStation game. Put it in, wait for it load, kind of thing. But yeah,
Well, that's
I think the
interesting.
voice acting is pretty decent. The puzzles seems pretty straightforward so far. Like I said, I haven't played a lot of it, but yeah.
No, there is one infamous puzzle in that game. I know about it, even though I've never played the game, because it has to do with the goat. That's why they showcased it in the showcase.
But it's one of those games that I feel if it's not your jam, you're going to hate it regardless because it's like it's not your jam.
Yeah, it's a point and click adventure. So
I don't use that excuse. If a game's a good game, I don't care what genre it is. I'll play it. If it's bad, it's bad.
Well,
People accuse us of that.
so what you're saying is that there's no genre of game you don't like.
No, as long as it's good.
Yeah, I think Broken Sword has got really good reviews, right? So you should enjoy it.
I'm gonna have my preference. Like I love beat 'em ups and shoot 'em ups.
Let me see what Broken Sword review score is.
It's
Sword.
well, it's funny because in the trailer, what did it say? Like the graphics, but they didn't talk about the controls.
Broken Sword review. PC Gamer. It's still point and click perfection. That was the review. Oh, that's the remake. Yeah, I don't know what the original review score.
Yeah.
Broken Sword.
And it was on the PlayStation, so you can't complain about not having a mouse.
Yeah, that's the PlayStation version.
Well, you can't.
That's what, Metacritic is 4.2 out of 5, so it's a pretty damn good review score.
You can't.
No, that's Reforged again. God damn it.
The problem is like Blaze takes the PlayStation versions of every game instead of using like Scum VM and emulating it that way. Then we would have like all the awesome like features and it would run better. But they don't want to put the time into that. So, but I get it. Once SNK is here, won't care. But I will say I have enjoyed Indie Heroes 4, like Suku Banana. Oh my god, I was playing that for over an hour last night, streaming that.
Yeah, I haven't tried that one yet.
That game's addictive. That little puzzle game with the monkey.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to Indie Heroes 4. It's kind of, I don't know. I'm waiting to them to let us know if they're going to do an Indie Heroes 5 this year or so. I mean, those are the most looking forward to, in my opinion, because they're usually games I haven't tried or played before. But
yeah. I should look it up, but the Curse of Ilmore Bay, I think, was made by the same people who did Coffee Crisis, because the music, the controls, and everything, it feels like
probably is.
It feels like Coffee Crisis.
Ilmore.
I need to see who. But okay, we're waiting for Rich here. Let's look at some polls. I'm curious. That'd be fun to ask people if they were how good. 122. How excited are you for the Evercade showcase? 42% said totally balls deep excited. 11% was like meh. At least the Simpsons voice. 41% said looking forward to it, and then I don't care and not sure if I like Evercade. 6%.
Why does it have to be Lisa Simpson's voice? What about like Bart's voice? What if I did that in Bart's voice?
What was the poll?
How excited are you for the Evercade showcase at the end of the month?
I forgot.
I'm kind of meh. I'm really excited for it. Like it has no impact to me, so I don't think it's made by the same company. I'm looking at them right now. Yeah, it doesn't look like it, Ed. Yeah, I'm not really looking. I wouldn't say I'm not looking forward to it, but I am not looking forward to it.
I'm gonna forget about it until it actually drops.
Yeah, it doesn't. I'll get surprised by it because it'll show up in one of you guys' feeds, or most likely Ed or Rich's YouTube. So
I think the Evercade YouTube channel is like one of the few ones I rang the bell on, so I'll just really get a notification.
Yeah, that's true. I do get theirs, and I follow them on Blue Sky. So yeah, I do. I should get it from them, but I don't really check those two things enough, right? Well,
I mean, it's just the notification that comes up on the phone, so it's hard to not notice.
Yeah, I don't have any notifications except for text notifications on my phone.
Huh.
I don't have any notifications. They're blanketly turned off on my phone.
He's stuck in the 90s.
No, I just don't want to be bothered by stupid stuff. I only want to be bothered by my family. That's really it.
I get the Discord, like the Discord announcements notifications.
No, I don't. I've been avoiding Discord Evercade since they created it. Like,
yeah,
it's not because I don't like Discord. It's just because there's too much noise, like on Discord in general, that like I don't want to have to constantly go.
I'll tell you the problem with this. It's good for announcements is that they don't moderate it, and there's a small group of people who are like failed content creators, and they're total gatekeepers, and they have like high opinions, and yeah. And then you have other people who I don't know if they're unemployed, but like they just like live in Discord and they do nothing but comment. Which I guess you could say that about all social media, but yeah, it's toxic, so I stay away. I don't know why I even bother to link to it in the notes.
That's every community though, right? Yeah.
Huh.
I don't really. Yeah, it's just a distraction, right? To me, like I'll source out the information when I want to source it out, as opposed to having it force fed to me all the time. Pretty much like a baby back in the day, right? You get force fed mushy peas. I liked it better when I chose which peas to eat.
Okay.
That makes sense. I totally lost where I was going on that. It's like, when you feed your kids, or your dog, Crow, but like forcing them is not fun.
Oh, that dog will not. If that dog doesn't want something, I ain't forcing it to do anything.
Yeah, but yeah, I just. Oh, you son of a bitch! I'm trying to buy Super Mario Sunshine. I just realized it's the only Mario game I do not own. And I offered this dude a really nice offer, and he declined it. And I'm like, well, screw you then.
Are you wanting it just to collect it or to play it because of like
to play it? Because I've got a modded, not a modded. I've got an HDMI thing for my GameCube, and I really want to start playing my collection. So I haven't played that game.
For level of difficulty and play controls at high, it's really bad compared to Mario Galaxy. Just a forewarning.
Yeah, that's okay. But I haven't played.
It came out way before Mario Galaxy.
Yeah, it's GameCube. So it's just the next Mario after Mario 64.
Yeah, it is.
State.
Yeah,
I've never played it.
Do we have a date for the month showcase? No, you think Blaze will give us a date?
Yeah, I think the March showcase will happen in April.
Probably.
Yeah, April 1st. April Fools. Oh, stupid year.
That would be great. No, Blaze doesn't
happen on the 28th. These are the 28th or the 31st.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. Or they could do the 24th, the beginning Monday. I don't know. Blaze can't make commitments. Being married to Blaze is interesting. Oh my god. Ever delayed showcase. Yeah, no, that's the one thing. And it would be interesting to have Sean back. I think I want to ask him who their customer base is. But I don't know if he'd give me a real answer though. I think he would say everybody. But I want to know
people that buy Evercade stuff.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, are they just? Is it new casuals? Because I don't think it's exist. Right now. I don't think it's existing customers that are in the system. I think it's geared towards casuals.
Aren't you a customer?
Yeah, for life. It's 40-something dudes. Yes and no, but yeah, we'll see though. I'm hoping. I think this year, I've said it before, will really determine where Evercade's fate, if you will. Like SNK, hopefully that'll open doors to other like big, IPs. And if it doesn't, then,
I don't know. They're on year 5, so they've been more successful than than anybody I think had expected.
True. And I guess they don't really have too much for like rivals, right? I mean, unless you consider like Atari to be a rival or Limited Games to be a rival, but I think with their price point that they don't. But yeah, I'm hoping to the showcase. Like, I wonder if they'll hire actors or if they'll act themselves. You know what I mean? Like they did like with the Duke Nukem. Like they put the year into it.
Yeah.
Evercade's audience also includes people with bookshelves to fill. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I wonder what percentage of the Evercade player base is collecting Evercade, or just
all of them.
What's that?
All of them? I mean, what's the point in buying Evercade stuff if you're not collecting it? Because the whole point is that it's physical. I mean, 99% of the stuff, if you wanted to play it, you don't need to buy the Evercade cartridge. You can download the ROM and play it.
Well, you could say that about anybody who buys anything, a PlayStation game or anything, right? Like, or like a PlayStation 1 and NES game. Like, are they buying it and trading it? Like a lot of people will. Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's a combination. I think it's the ease and the plug and play. It's having something official licensed. Yeah, the collector. I think it's kind of like all those.
Yeah,
I think it's all
not
those.
sure.
At this point, I'm more of a collector. I buy a lot of cards I don't play. I love to replay very few.
Yeah. Well, every card I do buy, I do play. I do try them and check them out. They're not shelf, like, just to sit on the shelf.
I did finish Glover this week.
Gross.
Was analog support?
That'd be painful.
No, actually, it's oh man, yesterday I played Star X. That is the most painful game on the cartridge. By a mile.
Yeah, see, then like you said, doesn't buy cards. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I think before this year, there were people that were kind of on the fence where they would still buy every single cart because they were mostly good. But last year changed that, and this year definitely cemented that, where it's kind of become more niche, right?
Now, I'll keep buying them as long as they don't do what Limited Run Games did and start releasing 20 carts a month.
Yes.
Then that's I'm not doing that.
Yeah, that would be a complete turn of. But I don't think they can actually physically do that because they barely can get the carts out now on time, right?
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, and that doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, almost every. When was the last time they announced something and it actually was released when they announced it?
Wow, that's a great question. I have no idea.
I don't know.
I just take the release dates with a bag of salt. I said it probably most likely will get delayed slightly, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. But
what's even worse though is they still haven't solved the logistics. There's so many people that they're like, hey, when are the Evercade collections going to be available again? So I don't know what they're. I honestly, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. Why they can't figure it out after 5 years. That's the two things that I'll be amazed if Blaze ever fixes is that, and then just putting games on there just because, without taking controls into consideration. Those are the two things that they do that they don't care.
Yeah,
and we'll see if that changes. We'll see.
I'm just waiting for the showcase. Will they focus just on software? Or they are going to announce a new. Obviously, I think they'll definitely in this whatever showcase they're doing, they're going to announce a new alpha. It just makes too much sense. They're going to probably announce. I don't know if the Pocket is something they're going to continue to do, but if they do that, I could see them announcing that maybe. Or I still think they're going to announce a core Evercade product, like something in the Evercade line. I think they're going to announce a new EXP or a new VS or something. I think they're going to announce something in that realm. Anyway,
I think it'll be skinned.
I don't know the R. I guess they did the R last year, but that was just a revision where they took stuff away. It wasn't really
new bundles. Yeah, new bundles. Yeah,
maybe new bundles. I'm still hoping for an EXP XL.
EXP XL.
EXP XL Plus.
EXP XL Plus Alpha.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's one of their highest profit margins. I think that they make money off of because it's no physical cart; it's just a license.
We'll see. We'll see what they do, but. Yeah, exactly, Gene. I'm with you, brother.
Need bigger screens of buttons.
EXP OAP? I'm not understanding. What's the OAP?
Old age person?
That's probably right.
Yeah. The Evercade deck.
Yeah.
They make a horizontal super pocket. And a joystick. Yeah, I hope they do that too. They make a joystick for a D-pad because, I really dislike the D-pad on the super pocket. And that would help a lot. If it's a good one. Horizontal.
Oh, I don't. I'd rather. For some reason, I might be the only person that don't like that Neo Geo Pocket click thing. That I don't like that. I like rather have the D-pad.
Old age pens. What?
Pensioner. Somebody who collects a pension.
Oh,
because they've retired.
That's a weird way. It was just be a British term. No, I'm kidding. Well, I guess we could talk a little bit about, like, what are we at? Sunsoft 1. Talk a little.
We started Sunsoft 1, right?
Yeah. You go to the next game. What do we have? This is an alphabetical order.
Oh, which game is this? Oh, Blaster Master. Awesome.
Yep, second best game in the collection.
Oh my god, Blaster Master. This is the game I played back in the day, man. I love this game so much. Such a fun game.
I actually never really played it until this collection.
And I like, really? Yeah, because it's criminally underplayed back in the day. Like, nobody was talking about Blaster Master back in the day. I thought it was fantastic.
Well, I knew it was a great game, but I just never had like, it was a game I didn't have when I had the NES, and
but
I
even
didn't
back in the NES, nobody was talking about this game.
Yeah,
like it was so underappreciated. I think like it's such a good game for what it does. Like different types fixes up some of the gameplay and stuff. It's such a good game. I really like it.
The problem is that the game falls apart once you get closer to the end and you have so many upgrades, it starts to become hard to control.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, though, like most people who bought it probably never ever finished it.
Also, this game kind of has a problem with slowdown.
Yeah, a lot of NES games back in the day had that problem.
No, for me, this is the best. This is like so nostalgic. Yeah, definitely underrated and very, very unique with like your dude getting out of the vehicle. Only 3 continues. Finally able to beat it as an adult with save states. Yeah, lots of nostalgia and great game. Like I freaking love this.
I think like even the other versions of this on other consoles is still great too.
I don't think this is a game I'll go back and play again, though.
Yeah, but you can say that with a lot of NES games outside of like Mario, like the ones that like have built-in replayability. Like Ninja Gaiden, stuff like that, right? Contra.
Yeah.
I must have played Contra and Ninja Gaiden so many times over and over again.
This is only a pick-up-and-play game because there's a lot of time investment. So yeah, just because of the difficulty, I may go back to it, but it's worth the experience.
I know it doesn't really matter that much, but can anybody make sense of the story of this game?
You don't pay attention to the story, dude.
Well, when you start the game, it gives you a slideshow of what's happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't make any sense.
It does. It's very simple. Kid's beloved
like all the stories of games back in the day, very few made a whole lot.
Yeah, the kid's pet
jumps down the hole,
escapes, and goes outside, and they just happen to have radioactive material outside their house.
Don't you all? Like, isn't that normal?
And then the frog gets radioactive, jumps down a hole, and so the kid goes down the hole after, and there just happens to be what I think the name of the vehicle is called the Sophia, and there's an outfit there, and the outfit just happens to fit him.
When you start digging too deep, okay?
Exactly the theme of Mystery Science.
But you don't have to go that deep.
This blew my mind. I remember when I was a kid when it first happened. Like when your game went from side scroller to top down, I'm like, blew my mind. I'm like, oh my god.
And the funny thing is, your frog isn't even the final boss in the game. You kill your frog halfway through the game.
Yeah, I know. So.
Well, Ballistic had the maps from Nintendo Power. I didn't have Nintendo Power, and I didn't have the maps. My cousin had Nintendo Power, though.
Yeah, the West.
Oh, yeah. This actually reminds me of one thing that I think they did that kind of sucks, is that you upgrade your gun in this portion, but if you take damage, not only do you lose health, your gun downgrades.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of stupid, but...
Yeah, and so that's exactly what they did with Fester's Quest.
Yep.
I never really played that game.
It's really frustrating. You have 2 little life bars in one life.
It's really frustrating.
It's really frustrating. But yeah, this made me happy to get a physical. Even though I don't think a physical copy is too expensive, but being able to
Yeah, no, this is dirt cheap on the the loose cart of this. I think even complete in box can't be that expensive.
Oh, let's check.
I think it was like a value game when it first came out because I don't think it was more than $30.
Yeah, that's what Mike was saying. It's 20. I think it's.
Oh, you're right. I'm surprised. Complete in box averages around $60.
Yeah, well,
that's pretty cheap for an NES game.
But it's cheaper than what it was back in the day. Probably like.
Well, when you just for inflation, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, with inflation, right? So like it didn't. It's not a super value of NES game. It's not like a. I knew it was super cheap because it came out really super cheap.
However, if you want a sealed copy, you're looking at around $350. Hey, if you want to unbox it, if you want that experience of
that smell
back in the
yeah.
Or you want to make the game completely unplayable and you submit it for grading, and then they seal it, encase it in carbonite, so nobody can ever play it again.
The grading is something I don't really understand either. I just don't get.
Yeah, the grading is stupid.
I have one game. It's not technically my game, but it's my wife's game, and she wants to send my game in for grading.
Pokemon cards and sports cards because you want to protect the cardboard, but for video games, don't you want to play the game? Like, what value is it behind it?
Well, I guess since the game is so cheap, I could understand getting one copy graded and having a loose copy.
Well, yeah, I guess, but just as a displayer, but like I want to play.
But by sealing it up, you're never gonna see what's inside the box ever.
Exactly. That's the best thing.
Grading means nothing if you don't trust the company. You know what I mean? It's like, especially
well, in video games you can't trust it because of the scandals with WADA and all that. But like,
there's people
card collecting. PSA's been doing it for 50 years. And
I know that there's been people that have submitted a game in for grading, got it back, didn't like the grade, so took it out of the case and sent it in for grading again, and just kept doing it until they got the score they wanted.
Yeah, and that happens. That happens actually in cards a little bit too. But now that like PSA is famous for that what they grade a 10, sometimes it's a 9 in Beckett or something. But PSA is the de facto currency for sports cards now. Like, I don't like any other slab, but because I have a bunch of graded cards behind me. There.
Yeah. DF wants you to ditch your wife and get with him. Okay. That was a weird random comment.
So ditch your wife and get with me. I don't understand. What does that mean?
No.
I don't know.
Don't think about it too much.
I don't know.
He says weird. Oh yeah.
Someone picking on you. He said there was like a purple monster or something behind. I don't know.
This must be close to your favorite game on the cart though, because this feels like it's right up your alley.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the second best game on the cart.
I'm scared to ask what your first one is.
He likes Journey to Silius.
Yeah, Journey to Silius is the best game on the cart.
That's a great game. That's a great game. Yeah. I give this one Crow the edge because pure nostalgia.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's kind of the reason why I said Journey to Silius, because I had that game when I was a kid. I beat that game when I was a kid. So
first time I played it was this collection.
And from a technical standpoint, there's no slowdown. There's, I know we're talking about a different game, but there's the reason I didn't score it a perfect 10 is because I think it's impossible to get through the game without getting hit at least once.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, Crow. Is that a realistic reason why to not?
Yes.
Deducted a point. Oh, come on. You're just.
It's almost perfect for that game. You could beat everything in that game with the standard gun. There's just one portion of the game.
Review methodologies is kind of flawed in some critical areas.
Yeah. Hey, if I give a score a game of 10, I gotta say it's perfect. And if
there's
you can't make it,
game, there's no perfect game.
It's perfect enough.
I think the closest to a perfect game ever is Super Mario Brothers. I think personally, and then maybe Super Mario 3. I think those are the two closest to perfection in a video game.
What about Super Mario World?
Oh my God, yeah, those three. Yeah. But you know what draws Super Mario World down is the reliance on Yoshi, and not a secondary character, and that's kind of overall, like, I think draws it down from Super Mario Bros.
Okay, let me see. That's your reason. I mean,
I
wouldn't mark it down because of that, but
I would take it down from a 10 to a 9.9.9.
And if you're gonna
Mario
and if you're
Odyssey
gonna
is that list
and if you're
too.
gonna round it, if you're gonna round it to the nearest
Oh, yeah,
whole
you
number,
can-
that would be 10.
Exactly. But yeah, 100%, 100% one of the most perfect games ever made. I would only ever probably it's Mario, Super Mario Brothers, and Mario 3. Like that's probably it for me.
Not Mario 2.
I love that game, and I think it's criminally underrated. But because they
I really like
just
it too.
reworked Doki Doki Panic, I can't. Even though Doki Doki Panic was made by the Mario team, I still think it's. I love it. I think it's one of the top 5 Mario games ever made. It's just that I feel like it's not quite where it needs to be.
Yeah.
I only mention it because it
We can
happens to
move
be
on
my
to
wife's
that.
favorite.
Oh,
It's
wait,
my
did
wife's
Rich
favorite
say something
Mario
about
game.
Is Rich around?
He is.
Hey.
He's right there. He's
Right.
under Sunsoft. He's hiding under the Sunsoft.
I
Final
Stuck
thoughts,
in.
Rich, on your on Blaster Master.
I think it's a really cool game that I haven't had nearly enough time to play because I didn't get to play this back in the day, and only briefly checked it out on the cart. So I need to play this more. I do enjoy watching other people play this game because it is kind of difficult. I watch Arcus all the time, and he speedruns everything. So watching a speedrun of this game is kind of mind blowing. It's pretty good times though.
Nice.
And also,
Oh, what was that?
oh, and also, hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello, welcome.
I want to ask, do you think there's anybody that thinks these top-down underground segments are better than the other part of the game where you're actually driving the vehicle?
I think, but see, it's weird, right? Like I do like this better now than I did when I was a kid. Like I really like side scrolling, and top down wasn't my jam a lot. But I probably would prefer this equally.
Oh, I just saw something that it reminded me of something I didn't like in this game. And that's the fact that when an enemy goes off screen, like the second it goes off screen, the game acts like that enemy does not exist anymore. It like freezes in time. And
That's
you
a lot of
can't
games are like that, though, Crow.
But it's so awkward in this game because it's very prevalent because like you're moving back and forth. So if something just happens to go off screen just before your bullet's about to hit it, it acts like it's not there anymore.
Isn't Zelda like that?
Which
no,
one?
because
Oh, the one?
the first one,
Yeah,
that's a little different because you're going from screen to screen. There's like one screen at a time.
Yeah,
This is scrolling.
maybe
so,
it's Yeast.
and that respawns.
One of the Yeast games is like that, I think, which annoys me, to be honest with you. So I get your point.
And also, I think I can't remember if the enemies respawn the same way. So, like, if you kill something and then kind of go off and back onto the respawn point, it comes right back again. I can't remember if that was the case with this one or not.
Yeah. I don't
No. No. Now I was gonna say I did like an instruction booklet. They told you the orders to warp, like to the different levels, which was really handy, so you didn't have to like Google it. I thought that was kind of a cool old school. I don't know if you guys use that, but it would tell you the order, like when you have to warp to go back in the game.
Now, I didn't use it in this video, but there's did you ever use the glitch for fighting some of the bosses?
Yeah,
where you pause the game?
Every other boss, I think you can do it with. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's every odd number boss.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, where you do the pause thing where it keeps hitting them?
Damaging it, yeah.
Yeah. But you can do that in Mega Man as well.
Yeah.
I figured that out accidentally as a kid. Like, I think maybe I was fighting the boss and paused it, like went to the bathroom and came back, and then like, oh, I beat the boss. I don't feel. All right, cool. So yeah, I think we've talked that one to death. We can. What else? What else is next for it? You know what?
I think that one deserves the conversation. It's that good.
I'm going to skip because it'll be two Blaster Masters.
Well, I think the games that are bad deserve a conversation too, as to why they're so.
Yeah. Well, come on, like Mr. Gimmick.
I could probably talk for about an hour on every single game.
Yeah, you should do a podcast.
Yeah, sure.
Game 1 million in the games trying to beat Mario.
All right. This is a good game. It's just
I didn't mind it.
It's tough.
it's just it's a little bit. I think it's asking too much of the player though in order to beat the game and get the good ending. Because you can't even access the final level in the game unless you find all the hidden items in every world.
Yeah, that's kind of stupid, right?
And the whole gimmick of Mr. Gimmick is throwing that star, and you have to, and that star goes fast, but you have to be able to like throw it and then ride it.
Yeah.
It's a great concept though. So yeah, I gave this a 7 out of 10 just because I think they expected way too much of the player.
Yeah, this was pretty cool. I like messing around with it. I'm not good at it at all.
Yeah.
But this is
my
another
skills are deteriorated on these type of games. To be honest.
Yeah. Well, this one was featured on the Big 20, the big speedrun race that just happened last month. So I got to see a lot of players play this one, and it's nuts. Like, so you play. It is possible to play this game at a high level, and like and beat it in an extraordinarily small amount of time. And you're like, I have no idea how that's happening, but
yeah, you have to know what's going to happen before it happens. This game will it's going to kill you a lot if you don't know what's going on.
100%.
Like, look at this. I like to get that thing up there. You got to throw a star and then jump off of it really fast. And it took me quite a while to do that.
Yeah, and there's parts of like level skips that allow you to do the same thing. There's this part of a level where you're like right next to a tree, and if you like throw it down into like the bottom part of the level when you're standing up top on the ledge, you can like catch your star and then pop up to the next part. Like above you is like another part of the stage, but you're not necessarily supposed to get there, but you can actually do that double jump and then get up there. It's crazy.
And this is like, and as crazy as this looks, this is only the first level.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, Gene, the controls are a little slippery.
Yeah, it is a little slippery, but I think that's something you just have to get. Again, it's one of those things you just have to grow accustomed to while you're playing this. Also, the way you throw your star, like your movement depends on how your star, like how far forward it moves, how far, whether or not it's moving fast going forward or higher. It's you really have to manipulate that. And again, you can't play the final level of the game unless you find all the hidden objects, and all the hidden objects are incredibly difficult to get.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used a lot of save states.
Save states for life.
I'm going to fast forward this a little bit. Let's see what's later.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, the presentation, the graphics, and everything, I think, are really good.
Yeah, and the music's really rad too.
Yeah,
it's bumping. I mean, it's the whole thing is like that's the whole thing about Sunsoft games is whoever wrote the sound driver for the Sunsoft game team knew where to find the bass, and boy oh boy did they pump that up. Like every single one of these games has this like rockin' super bassy sound in all of their music. Like this one, Batman is infamous for that. Gremlins 2, and a whole bunch of others that are really, really cool.
God, I wish we got Batman.
Good tunes. Yeah, Batman was a cool game.
Licensing.
Yeah, licensing. I heard that Warner is trying to get out of their division though, as far as games.
Ooh.
And try to like so that maybe that'll open up some stuff. They're like, hey, here's all these old games that we don't care, just give us some money and you can play them, kind of thing. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be. That's a good question. We'll say, what is Sunsoft 3? I think it would be possible. They have that digital version on Steam. I think.
What, a Batman?
No, of Sunsoft Collection 3. I think they could do one more, like, console collection.
Oh, yeah.
Possibly, yeah. Matter of fact, we might see that this year. Maybe.
That's true.
Although, I think the showcase is just going to be all about SNK and arcade. And hopefully it'll blow up.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, though, if we wind up seeing at least something else, to be like, hey, to tide you over while you're going to have to wait for all this stuff. Here is titles that aren't SNK, and then you're going to see that.
You mean titles?
That's happening soon, though, right? 2 weeks?
People may not buy. Yeah, the end of this month, yeah.
It'll be very cool. That's pretty funny, Crow.
Yeah, there's a ton of other there's like Blaster Master Zero that you can get, I know, like on various platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Really. God, look at this.
Yeah, I think there's a bunch more Sunsoft games that aren't necessarily licensed that you can get a hold of. I mean, it's a little thin, but there are still some, I think.
Yeah, they have that digital collection, I know, on Steam. It does like a few games that they could probably combine to do one more.
Yeah,
Does Sunsoft have any arcade games at all? I'm trying to think if they
Sunsoft
do.
Arcade? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's worth a look up.
Yeah, Blaster Master Zero, exactly, Gene. Yeah. Maybe. Crow disappeared.
There's tons in the early age. Most of their early games actually were all arcade games. Block Challenger, Stratovox, Funky Fish, Route 17, Kangaroo, Runaway, Arabian, Markham.
Oh, I remember Kangaroo.
Yeah. That's yeah.
Yeah, that one's that's the Atari and Sun Electronics combo game. I had that on Atari. That was great.
Cool.
Markham, Bam Bam. That was one of my favorite games on Atari, actually. The Guinness. There's nothing about it, though, on Wikipedia. Strength and Skill Guinness Book of World Records. That's kind of cool. And then a game called Iki, known outside of Japan as Boomerang. And then there's Shanghai. That's
they published Riven, but I don't think they own the rights to it, though.
Beirut, Shanghai 2. Those are Mahjong games. Tough Turf, which is a 2D beat 'em up for arcade.
Okay.
Then again, Herberke's Papoon or Pop-On. Yeah, I mean, there's arcade games in the Sunsoft thing. Galaxy Fight Universal Warriors for arcade and Neo Geo.
Yeah, but we got the PS1 version.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. Not a lot of. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much that would be pretty much the list. So I don't know if that would make a good arcade collection, but
yeah, I can squeeze two out of it. I don't know.
Oh, I'm very sad. I walked into the studio today right before I popped on, and apparently last night the dog had gotten into the studio. And he wrapped himself in all the cables.
Oh, no.
And that's USB cables aren't supposed to go that way.
Jeez.
That's
bad dog.
That was the power supply to my VS.
Oh no.
That's all right. It's just a USB whatchamacallit, right? So I gotta go find one.
Did the dog chew through any of the cords? It's like,
I didn't chew through any of them. He doesn't do that. He just walks around and just is a menace. He gets himself all wrapped up in things and just,
I know people like that. They just get themselves wrapped up in stuff and they're a menace to.
Yeah, right.
That's funny.
I think this one is okay, right? Oh,
cool. So yeah, we'll save the other 2 games for next time because we're going to need some more stuff to talk about. No, but seriously.
More Sunsoft goodness.
Yeah, Sunsoft is. I've been really happy with both of the collections.
Yeah, there we go. Just use this one.
And this first one was really good. Of course, the dog is okay. I don't think you. Yeah, hopefully dog.
Oh yes. Yeah. The dog is fine. He's just clumsy.
What, you think the dog like, wrapped himself up and like hung himself in the corner?
Oh no, nothing that morbid. Oh god, no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, he's just he's a nudge. I love him to death. He's a nudge.
Hey, speaking of Blaster Master, Rich, didn't you win a free NES cart from What's a Who's It's?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I want to from what you call it, Video Games Monthly, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just by like commenting on their like tweet.
Yep. Yeah, it's around here somewhere. I think it's behind this thing.
It's somewhere floating around.
I don't know where it went. Well, I think it's also because I might have installed it. And if I installed it on the Polymega, that means it's in Studio B.
Yeah.
So
that threw me for a second. I'm like, wait, you can't install a game like a computer program? Like, oh yeah, Polymega.
Yep. Yeah, pop it on the Polymega. Oh no, 51-inch plasma broke. Oh no.
Ooh.
That's rough.
No, I'm thriving on it. Oh yeah, those plasma TVs.
Those plasma TVs are pretty cool.
I say, DF, how many times have I told you not to walk into your TV? Good Lord. So yeah, we have this, and then when is Atari 2? Is Atari 2 supposed to come out at the end of this month?
Yeah, it comes paired with Tomb Raider 2.
Dude, I love to see Tomb Raider for Game Boy Color would have been awesome because it's a 2D like side scroller, and that would have been if they could have like thrown that on there.
Yeah, it would have been a cool inclusion.
Yeah.
But
April? No, it's the end of this month.
No, right? I think it actually is in April. Because well, actually, I don't know. Because this showcase should coincide with the release or the shipping of the next 2 carts. But there might be.
That's kind of my complaint for Blaze. They're going to show you a showcase for a game that you can't get right away, or a cart that you can't get right. Like I don't get why they either that or is their strategy like, hey, when nobody's going to want to buy these other carts or be as excited.
We've done this though. It's because they're going to tie it to hardware, and then they need the time to get the pre-orders in, so we can get the hardware made.
Yeah, I know. But
that's how this is going to go. We know their game.
Yeah. You have to wait for the hardware. You can't just order the carts, damn it. Like, why do they?
All right.
Well, I guess they do that because more money. Has Blaze, I know they said that they've sold 1 million carts. Have they come out and said that they're profitable?
What, the cartridges?
No, just as a company. Have they come out and said that they're profitable?
I think they must be.
Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't be. They wouldn't continue to be doing all this stuff if it wasn't.
Yeah, they must be making. I think they're making good money. I mean, like.
Yeah,
they have to be.
They hired new people. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Gene.
They always say they're short-staffed.
Ships April 25th. So
I don't know if they're short-staffed for exactly what they want to be. I think to stay profitable, they're probably staffed that way, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, some of those companies are, the lean and mean model makes sense for a company like this.
Yeah.
So that's very cool.
Yeah, I'd hope that they would be. Well, actually, the cost of carts went up, so I was curious. But yeah, I would think by now, after 5 years.
Oh, they've been profitable since day one. They have to be. I mean, I don't think they've got Daddy Warbucks money backing them.
No, but it could be one of those things where like companies they take loans, or there's an investor, and the investor says, "Hey, after 5 years, you all better have a return."
Crow and I tracked out the roots of who owns Blaze Entertainment down to a husband and wife.
I thought it was Andrew.
Andrew's
He's the CEO. Yeah,
used to be the director before, but yeah, no, there's a husband and wife who owns Blaze Entertainment. Me and Crow spent a whole podcast tracking down the corporate history of it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wonder how involved are they?
I don't know.
I
don't think about those things.
Who picks who? What I want to know is who decides to go after the licenses and who ultimately gets to pick the games.
I think that's probably Sean and I think marketing, right? Marketing's got a big input in that stuff. So I'd say it's Sean, Andrew, and Sean and Andrew probably.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, marketing decides, right? Because they got to know what's going to sell. They have all the research data, right?
Right.
What IPs are hot.
Maybe.
Well, that's what marketing does. That's their whole job, is to say, "Oh, this IP is hot. This is what will sell."
I don't think Blaze has a marketing division by the way they run their company, or if they do,
that's Sean.
Yeah, it is Sean. Yeah, he is marketing,
and he knows his retro stuff, man. Like he is pretty plugged into retro.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sean does a pretty good job. I think where it falls down is like they don't prioritize always the American audience of retro gamers. They go global, like they do both, right?
Right.
Which is fine.
Well, that's the problem. They don't. If you want to win the market over, you really need to win over America if you want to. And then
that's such an American thing to say.
But it's true though.
Well, but the problem with that statement, Ed, is like, yeah, I mean, we want the licenses.
I'm not saying you're wrong, Ed, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, we want the licenses we want because we're here, right? You know, like this is the stuff we want the stuff we grew up with too.
I want the Activision collection. I want the iMagic collection.
Right. Yeah.
Right. That's what I want.
And I think they will sell. I think those would sell for sure.
I think the Activision collection will sell just because there hasn't been an Activision collection since what? PSP? PlayStation 2, Xbox?
Yeah, last one was in that generation, right?
That generation, I think, right? PSP, because I have it on the PSP.
Yep. I mean, the ALU, they had a collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that,
I think that's only retro collection will get me excited now, to be honest with you. Like SNK, that doesn't excite me. But you pop that Activision collection on, I will be over the moon excited for that.
I mean, well, for me, it's always like you do Sega, I'd be all
but I got Sega, right? Sega's on Switch. It's on everywhere. Like I've gotten my fill, and I don't know if Evercade can do a better job of showcasing the Genesis games and the Sega games than they've done themselves, right?
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna get Sega because of their attitude. Like they don't want to be a retro company. They delisted all their digital stuff. I don't think we'll see Sega, sadly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Because the big so the question is, let's say you're in that position, do you put out games that you liked growing up for a childhood, or do you put out the games that the majority of the people? And I think that's kind of the balance, right? Because it's fun to have the neat and the quirky, but it's nice to also have the nostalgia. And I think sometimes Evercade lately has leaned more towards like the niche within even Atari. I admit, that's even
I think that's why that's when their marketing department has to come in and they have to make decisions based on that as opposed to anything else. But yeah.
Well, I think the Atari decision was had a lot to deal with the fact that they were going after the Stern licenses.
Yeah.
And they got the Stern licenses because Atari had them. And then I think
what would excite me? If we got the TurboGrafx 16 collection, like Bonk and all those games, that were TurboGrafx games, those would be out. Like a Bonk collection would be amazing. Like I'd buy that right away.
Well, and if Play Magi can get some, then why can't Blaze, right?
Yeah. Criminally underrated games, the Bonk games.
Here's the thing, and here's where I think maybe I disagree with you, Gene. Technically, everything is available. It just depends on how well you are at negotiating. How well can you wine and dine people? How well can you,
I think the point.
Are you saying that it's possible to get Nintendo stuff like Mario Brothers on the Evercade?
Yeah, but the thing I think Gene's talking about, sometimes you just can't find out who owns it. It's so obscure, right? Like ColecoVision, certain their games, like nobody knows who owns it.
Yeah,
but we know who owns like TurboGrafx 16. We know Konami. We know all.
Yeah, they're too busy making like so much money with that ball game in Japan. What's it called?
What? Pachinko.
Pachinko.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'd love to see the Bonk series. Somebody must own the Bonk license. Is it Konami that owns that? I wonder.
I think it's either
Yes.
Konami or
It's
well,
Konami.
Konami owns Hudson, so
Yeah.
I'd say it's Konami.
Yeah,
Rare
that's a
yeah.
lot of those. A lot of those games are the Hudson games, right? The TurboGrafx was kind of like the Hudson system.
Yeah.
But here's the
The Vectrex collection would be amazing.
But it's also about like but like it's also about like person like Sean said, that they would have to go to Japan because they do business. So it's like, how can you relate, to another culture? Do you do your research?
Yeah.
You
Then
know?
I'd go to Japan and figure it out. That's what I would do. Like, just make the effort.
My point, that's kind of my point. Like, instead of investing in some of the other nonsense that Evercade does, they should be investing in that and kind of do what it takes to get some of those other big licenses. Like, dude, wine and dine Konami, wine and dine Sega.
I mean, SNK is a big deal, right? They get that.
Yeah,
that's a big deal, right? Like, nobody expected that. I mean, I'm not personally excited about SNK just because of the fighters, but if they do other stuff outside of fighters, I'm excited. But they got that deal. That's pretty cool. Like, I got to be excited about that. I know you guys are anyway, but
yeah. So Gene brings up a good point. Like iArcade, it has,
Yeah. Yep. Well, we'll see. Oh, I've got to get ready to go, guys. Sorry, but I have hard stops sometimes. So.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, I'll say goodbye. Come over to my channel. Cool videos up. There's this one's up on the channel. Go check that one out. Other than that,
I did watch that one. That was good.
See you guys next week.
Yeah. See ya.
Bye.
See you, babe.
But no, I think like the point that that I'm trying to make is with some deals, you talk to the right person. And you base it off of emotions, right? Like, hey, like, this is, like Sega was my favorite console as a kid. I was, that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of it is like put it this, okay, like John D from Arcade 1-Up, right? He had the contact when he worked for them. He had the contacts. He was into that stuff. Dude, he was able to get Marvel versus Capcom. That's what I'm saying is I think Blaze needs they need somebody like that who has the contacts, who has the personality that can kind of, I hate to say that, but that's all I'm saying. Is that I think deals can be made.
Yeah.
And all that. You just have to have the, I don't know. You just have to have the right. I'm like, I guess what I'm like, give me a chance. I think I could get a deal done. I'm putting myself out there. Like, give me a chance. Like, put me in front of Sega or Konami or somebody, and I think, I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's not even that, right? So you think about even in our peer group, right? The Intellivision collection that didn't happen until Pete.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly.
Pete didn't need Blaze's permission. He went and just got that deal.
Yeah.
So,
but that's what I'm exactly. That's kind of what I'm talking about, and that's why I said no, like disrespect to Sean, but I think like he grew up mainly playing sports games and all that other stuff, and I don't know, like, and that's what I mean. That's what I'm trying to say. Like over like in the UK, like things were different. Y'all were playing Commodore and tape games and all that. You guys weren't playing console games as much during the crash. So I think that's what I'm trying to say. Is I think sometimes culturally there can be like a disconnect.
Yeah, well, I mean, and then also that could be part of the reason why, like some of the contacts may or may not be there, but we've also had like the same conversation about like, in that same sphere we've had a situation where we've asked Blaze directly about specifically like Sega, Konami, like that kind of thing, Capcom, and we've gotten answers, and the answers have been, well, they went to them, and for XYZ different reasons, there's not an availability for a deal right now, and that's fine, So, but that means it's just not right now. But as they continue to grow and as they continue to do things, like each new deal is just going to open more doors. So I think that's
yes.
I think that's how that goes.
I mean, again, I don't know the ins and the outs and what it's, but they don't really share like any of that.
Well, I mean, that's the secret sauce. You don't want to give up the secret sauce. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's like tell us exactly how you're doing your business. Why? You don't need to do that. So
no, but I mean, it would just be kind of like, are they just saying like, hey, what? I mean, we don't even get any vagueness. Like, say, hey, we've approached a Konami.
well, that's because you don't want to build up hype either.
That's
because if the answer is no, then you look like a fool. If you name drop a company, you're like, hey, we're trying to talk to these people, and then a year goes by and nothing happens, then the audience goes, well, they don't know how to do it, or they didn't do it right, or whatever, and then it becomes a thing about them. If you keep it quiet and the deal gets done, you make the announcement, then people are hyped because there's a product and it's coming. Lots of people have learned that lesson in the last, especially in the retro sphere. Like there was a time where all the fans, they love when somebody's running down the street banging a drum about like how they're going to get all these cool things and how your product's going to be really awesome, and then if you can't deliver, you get burned on both sides, the business side and the fan side, and that's that's a deep lesson to learn. But I'm very sure that they are, at Blaze anyway, are very aware of the dangers of doing that. So I don't really get on them about like all these big licenses and like pushing and like trying to say things to the community and all that kind of stuff about that. No way. I'm I'm quite happy with saying like what's going on, and then just do that.
See, Ballistic kind of see exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. I think there's too much of a focus on the UK, like. And believe me, I do want to see some like UK games and all that, but I think it's, there's been an overload.
Yeah. Well, the other thing about this though is, if you look at the sales analysis, right, like we don't have any numbers, right, but it's pretty clear that the focus on that niche, and have the audience and the general fan base, right. You look at the biggest fan pages on social media for this device, right? They're either run by or spearheaded by people that are in that territory, right?
Yeah.
But like, where's the big North American tentpole US based, group, right? Other than us.
That's true.
Right? So that's a big giant red banner waving. If your fan base is in the UK, then you cater to the UK, right? If your fan base can come over to North America, and then all of a sudden you got all sorts of crazy people going nuts over Evercade products here in the States, well, then it shifts the momentum, right? So that's another thing. Sometimes it's on where your fans are, right, where your vocal fans are. So
true.
And if that translates to sales, then that absolutely will turn a ship. Like if all of a sudden something happens, they've got, again, and they should be proud about this. They got over 50 different boxes, right? That you've got games on that have multiple games per cart, with the exception of one. It's full void. That's it, right? Every other cart has more than one game.
I'll tell you what it is.
If all of a sudden that starts going crazy here for whatever reason, if a switch flips, I can guarantee you, all of a sudden, marketing will shift.
But here's where you bring up very good points. But yeah, the deal is, here's the thing, and that you have to be very careful doing that. Here's the problem, though, is that like if you look, especially last year, like they've been very conservative. And what I mean is that, like, to your point, Rich, they've been putting out the stuff there that sells. What I think they're not willing to do is take a risk, or like what I'm telling you, like they should do a deal with someone, Sega. If they like do a big deal with Sega, have it like do that crazy deal that says basically we break even until we sell 1 million copies. Something like, I think if they would just take a chance on like a big IP or like that, I think they would get a return. But it's just being able to do that. And when you look at other companies in the video game industry and successful CEOs, like in Sega of America, I forget his name, like they were willing to kind of take those like good, like calculated like risks and manage it. And I think that's why, and that's why I say, like, I like Blaze, but respectfully, I think they don't have that person in leadership that's kind of tied in, that kind of has that personality, that's like willing to kind of take that chance. I think that's what it comes. I think that's kind of what it comes down to.
Yeah. Well, but you also don't know, like, sometimes as far as like the deals that get done, right? What if what if this deal, right? Because every other subsequent deal, right? You get the Crystal Dynamics deal last year, and then before that, you get the deal that brought us Duke, and then this year you got the deal that brings us SNK. You know, that seems to be progressively better, right? Yeah. So if that's the tail of the tape, then who knows what next year brings? You know, next year is year 2 of the SNK deal. We're already going to know what the slate is. And they're going to have to bring something else to the table to continue the ball rolling. I think that's when, you know, you start seeing that those big things, because again, there's still a company that, remember what happened when we had the interview with Andrew, what the big boy companies said to them when they asked for the license the first time. And the answer was, go get better and get bigger and then talk to us.
Yeah.
So, you know, and that's a call to us. Like, we're responsible as fans for that, because we got to put out the ducats and get all these collections.
Ooh. Yeah, no, Gene, I've been thinking that it'd be interesting to see what the other big thing this year is along SNK. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I would temper your expectations, Gene. Because I think the big thing is SNK.
Yeah.
That's why they put a press release out.
It's like, what else could it possibly be? You know?
Yeah,
I can't imagine anything bigger than that. You know?
Yeah. The only thing that they could do is actually, to Ballistic's point, you know, if they went like EXP XL or something like that, you know, with that. Oh, they've said something else. All right, well, we'll see.
Yes, that's exactly
cool.
Phantom. That's kind of that's what I'm saying, to kind of tap into the. That's what I mean by tapping into the American market. Get it in those brick and mortar stores that aren't like specialty retro stores where people actually know about it, or like try to do a deal with GameStop. I don't know.
Well, I mean, they already have the Super Pocket. Super Pocket's in GameStop right now.
It's debatable.
So, but that would be cool though, like, to do like mini retro in the other stores. Well, retail space is expensive, so that's another deterrent. But you know, you can get 2 feet of Evercade in a GameStop, no problem.
Should be able
Super
to get
Pockets at least, right?
Well, Super Pockets are already there. That's what I'm saying.
But they should be able to get
They are there
to Best Buy, you know, because they got rid of they have a lot of space now. They got rid of all their DVDs and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's absolutely true. But it seems that the bigger box retailers, like especially Best Buy, they're scaling back on stuff. And I mean, the only reason why you scale back when you're a company like that of your loss leader stuff is because maybe you're not doing so hot. And you know, we'll see what happens there. And how many people go to a big box store to buy, you know, like that kind of stuff anymore anyway, you know?
Well, it's like, well, now there's even less of a reason to go, and just Best Buys have big, giant, empty areas.
Right.
So
yeah,
what good does that do?
It's not. I mean, I worked in retail for a really, really, really long time. You don't do those things unless these things are not great. And I worked for a company that went through that phase, and it didn't end well.
I don't think that's correct, Fred.
Are we talking about fries?
No, I was talking about Circuit City, but
oh, yeah, that's right.
I worked for them for a long time, and you know, towards the bad times, things like that started happening, and you're like, oh.
Fred, unless it's like some weird one-off trade, I don't think GameStop has ever carried it like as retail, like as brand new. You know what I mean?
So they can't. So GameStop, that's Fred's correct. They had the OG handheld right before the launch of the VS. They had the OG handheld and a couple carts, and they were just on the back counter. Yeah, and then they sold them, and then they didn't get them back. So I was like, all right, well, that's disappointing. And then the Super Pockets came out, and I thought for sure that like Hyper Megatech, that whole thing was like, oh, they're gonna try to find a way to get more business in retail. Hey, what's up, man? But then they got the Super Pockets in there, and then nothing. But the weird thing is, the Super Pockets are still there. Yeah, that's starting to happen too, Phantom. Yeah, that's another thing. I mean, GameStop's in a weird place too. So, you know, but and then they're making a lot of really weird decisions. Like, you know, for example, we're talking about retro directly, right? You know, I live in the New Jersey area, right? And in 100 miles, there is one GameStop retro in the state of New Jersey. One.
Wow.
What do you mean GameStop retro?
So GameStop put out about 6-7 months ago. They have they had a branding thing, and they were like, oh, we're gonna have retro in some of our stores, and you know we're gonna sell retro games like out of our stores because they had warehouses for days and days and days of retro stuff because they bought everybody. They bought.
You could buy it online.
Yeah, you could do it online.
But the thing was, you didn't know what you were buying. You didn't know if it was going to just be a cartridge or complete in the box. Or
that's absolutely correct. So they started sending those as an experiment for this year as another revenue stream, because that's what GameStop does. Is they started sending these games from the warehouses directly to these stores, and they put them on the shelves to see what happens. It's wild to me to see like there's tons of retro stores in the area. Like there's probably 5 off the top of my head that I could drive to in at least 30 minutes. You know, the weird thing about it is for GameStop to try to enter the thing, they only have one store and it's in a weird area. And it's like, why that store? Like, I don't know why you chose that store, but okay, that's fine. I visit it. It's close enough where I can get there in about 20 minutes. And I've been doing a little bit of an experiment. I've been visiting that particular store for the past 6 months since they launched the program. And I'm going to do like a little analysis of what I think about the GameStop retro thing. And it's pretty cool. You know, it's pretty interesting. It was a fun experiment anyway. But
can't wait to see that.
Yeah, it'll be cool. So,
all right.
But bringing it back to the Evercade stuff, I guess. But you know, like I think with GameStop, you know, you got to be bringing some kind of thing to move massive amounts of units, or GameStop doesn't even want to talk to you because they're trying to get theirs too. is what it boils down to.
Well, I stand corrected. I didn't know they actually carried them for 5 minutes at a point in time.
Yeah. And like I said, they still have the Super Pockets. They're there. I can walk into at least 3 different locations, and there is still a Super Pocket on the top shelf where the accessories are.
That's
in all
good.
3 locations.
So I've never seen them here.
Yeah. I would say I'd never seen them there, but I can't remember the last time I actually went into a GameStop.
Usually, the most GameStops that I've seen are like they're really small. They're manned by one person, and it looks like a tornado had kind of gone through them, and they just have like figures, and maybe you'll see a few PS3 games and Switch and PS, you know, like, and that's pretty much it. Like new stuff.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find a picture.
Yeah. No, I didn't know that they had them there for a few minutes. I mean, it would make sense. They had to put their foot on the marketing pedal. Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Yeah. Yeah, they put them with all the My Arcade stuff. So I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, you can.
Yeah. Yes.
There it is.
The
a Tetris machine, a Miss Pac-Man little mini guy, and then your Super Pocket right there, the Taito guy.
And the Super Pocket's probably the most expensive thing in that lineup.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Super Pockets are what, 60?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, they're there. Yeah. Yes. They are more expensive than the little mini arcade guys.
I haven't turned on my Super Pocket in a long time.
Oh, there you go. I didn't know this, but like at the on the opposite end of the picture, you can see they got the Capcom one too.
Yeah, okay.
So there you go. Fun times. Yeah, that picture was taken last month.
Cool.
So, yeah. Yep, good times. But yeah, I guess as far as like final thoughts and stuff goes, yeah, I'm still plugging away on things. Was able to catch up on some stuff. We did the Kraz production games on Atari VCS. Played those. I got to play the new game from Meccan Games. It's 2 weeks out now. Asteroid Patrol. It was a pretty cool one. And then we got to do the Polymega stuff. We got to still do that. And then I'm working on a cool thing that GGC is going to see first, and then everyone else is going to see it. So
things are cool.
Keep it tuned. Oh, thanks, Ballistic.
Crew, what do you got working on?
Well, let's see, I got a bunch more Zaccaria Pinball stuff done, so there's still Zaccaria Pinball stuff coming out. I've been playing Pico. What was it? I can't remember which one it is now. Pico 4, yeah. So I finished Glover, and when I said that, I was like, I realized, did anybody play that with an analog controller? Because I can't imagine how you would play that without it.
No, I should though.
Because I was able to finish the game with it.
Oh, that's cool.
So I mean, it's fine. But then I started playing Star X, and that game is terrible. So I'm debating whether or not I want to try and go back to it or not. But after that, I only have one more game left, so then I can start working on a video for it.
Nice. Well, I haven't opened Broken Sword yet, but I will. Trying to go into it for an open mind, despite the comments that I've seen on it. But can I give my own opinion?
It's Zaccaria. It rhymes with Mamma Mia because it's Italian.
Diarrhea.
Trust me, I used to say Zaccaria, and then I was getting corrected all the time. So it's Zaccaria.
Zaccaria, cha cha cha. Give me some better reference.
Nice.
And I think I should be streaming tonight, and yeah. So I think that's all we have going on all our channels.
Sweet.
And yes, Card will come back at some point. I promise you.
Yeah, we will get that together.
We keep threatening it, but it will, Phantom. It will.
Yes, for sure.
All right. Well, all I have to say is that if you happen to stumble in here through the YouTube verse and you kind of like what you see, look at the description below, and we'd appreciate you consider subscribing to all of our channels if you want to, keep in touch with all the cool things that we talked about. Yes, I should be. I should be at heart. Yes, I should be. So I'm going to go ahead and thank my channel members. Thanks, everyone, for watching, everyone who supports our channels and all the cool stuff. And bye-bye.
Thanks, Crashline, Mr. Shua, Mortal Soldier, and Amber Cummings, Joe Whitlash, Dan Nestic.